Hello, movie dopers. It's me, Brian, again with
Brad.
and Brad. What's the movie we're reviewing today?
Hold on. You're it.
Tag.
Tag.
I was I was 50-50 if that was a bit. I was like, this is a bit, but it might not be.
Yep.
Um
Dad jokes are strong.
and it's kind of funny that you might be doing more dad jokes than I am. Um And I didn't mention this in our hey, how you doing before the recording talk because I was so excited when you told me this, but you said not this is not spoilers in here, but everyone's about to get the rating in a few minutes. You said it'll something like it'll be very interesting or kind of difficult to rate this. Like
Yeah.
this will be a
Yeah.
weird one. And that makes me so happy because I said it was a special kind of movie. like
Yeah. I mean,
uh
we're recording this on Monday. I watched it Saturday night and I've thought about it the whole time, like, ooh, where does this go?
oh, that made me so happy. All right.
And I cried.
You did?
No, I didn't. Not even a little bit. Maybe yawned once or twice. Oh, I didn't even cry. Come on, I didn't cry at No Time to Die. I'm not crying at this.
If your wife listens to this later,
She
tell her
will.
to tell me on Instagram and Movies Are Dope to remember to clip this and put it on Instagram because the I was literally 3 seconds away from saying to the surprise of nobody. I cried multiple times watching this, and the roller coaster of emotion I went on right before revealing that, hearing you may have cried, when, as far as I know, in like the total 6 minutes of interactions between all three of us, you're not the more popular crier in your household. It got me so excited, and then it killed all my dreams.
Wah, wah,
In
wah.
such a quick U-turn of emotions. You bastard, I love you for doing that to me. I
You're
was so
welcome.
I cried more times than when I don't even know if I've cried before in the movie. Oh, all right, this is a very heavy thing, and I don't want it to impact your opinion of this movie at all. But the second time I watched it, and I mentioned this on my reaction that I'll be releasing later. Second time I watched it was the day after I traveled 17 and a half hours from Anaheim, California to Dallas, Texas, something like that, with my buddy, staying at my buddy's place, Billy Norton. And the next day, I'm like, baby, you got Alamo Draft House. We're going. And we ended up, obviously, we ended up seeing Tag. But the best part of that was he looked at Google Maps. He's like, it's 30 minutes. You're driving. I was like, baby. I didn't call him baby. I was like, baby, I just drove 17 and a half hours yesterday. This is like walking down the block. This is less exhausting than me walking down the block. We went. He enjoyed the fuck out of it. He's also the person that made me feel how special Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse was when he came and visited Chicago. It was my fifth time seeing it. My first time, fifth or sixth. My first time with an adult because it was either me or my daughter. Um, and seeing it through his eyes, I finally felt how special it was and how everyone else was talking. And then a few years ago, his girlfriend DM'd me on Facebook, and unfortunately, he passed away at 35, I believe. So loved seeing it with you, bro. Just wanted to. I know it's heavy, and if you don't like some of the movie, that might make it awkward. But just wanted to say he was a great guy. He he when I didn't have the confidence to say something as small as like, actually, I ordered this at a restaurant. And if you're watching on video, I look much snarkier than I actually did. He's the one who would speak up and be like, actually, he ordered that. And I was like, And I just appreciate it. You know the small problems that you have that you're like, this is too small a problem to actually speak up about. He
Yeah, I'm
just
not gonna make
cat
this into a big deal.
Yeah, and I don't know how to say it where it doesn't sound like I'm being a total asshole. And he knew. And he just immediately he was like, actually, he ordered this and was total gentleman about it. Everyone was happy. And I was just he filled in that little shortcoming I had in the moment the last time I saw him during the Chicago polar vortex when it went negative 55. That's when he visited. That was the
Yep.
last time I saw him. So
I was still in Wisconsin at that point, so I know what you're talking about.
I still have, if anyone goes on Instagram.com/superview heroes, I think I have one of those like saved stories of me, him, and my buddy Richard trying to scrape ice off the inside of the car door windows and me recording doing intentionally the worst job ever. Be like, I don't know what I'm doing. So
You're like the little kid who just doesn't want to do it, and
oh
so
yeah,
they do a terrible job. So somebody come by and takes it.
essentially that was the bit I was doing. He literally gave me a full ice scraper, one of multiple, and I took like the corner part, and I was like,
Scratching her name into the window.
yeah, it was literally just like using. It would be like being given the largest paintbrush and trying to paint the thinnest line. It's like you could do so much more than that, Brian. Anyway, just want to say that in the non-spoilery section. And good luck following that up with non-spoiler reviews about a silly movie with a big heart. What'd you think, sir?
That misses in so many jokes.
What's up?
That misses in so many jokes.
What misses in so many
This
jokes?
movie.
Oh! Oh!
There's some jokes that hit, but there were some jokes that were just like, nope.
Which ones did missed for you?
Most of them. Most of them.
Well, we've got my rewatch of it, and I guarantee you, if you ever do see it, you're gonna roll your eyes so many times and be like, "Really?" Is that your non-spoiler review that it misses most of the jokes it tries to make?
It's exactly the movie's exactly what it sounds like. The movie name is Tag. I mean, it's a bunch of adults that play tag.
Yeah, it's one of those based on stories that that realistically would have been called inspired by, and then actually it's more like what I've heard the reality versus the movie is for Green Book, where it's like, they did a tour, but
I've seen Green Book, but I haven't seen anything else about it. I didn't know. I knew it was based off a true story or inspired by a true story, whatever it was.
Yeah, it was
I
based.
haven't looked up.
I didn't mean to bring Green Book into this, but it's what is it? It's based on a true thing of like 10 middle-aged men who still tag, and it's told through the eyes of 5 very handsome younger men, or middle-aged, probably 50s, but 40s, 50s based on the 40s, 50s. Credits. Yeah. 5 very handsome men, a psychotic woman, a reporter woman, a horny mom woman, and who's the other? And Rashida Jones.
See, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
So, but yeah, anything more about the film you want to say before we tell our ratings?
And it also has Lil Ray Howery in it, who was in the last movie too. So
yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh, hey, this wasn't even planned."
Hey, so far we're connecting all of our movies together somehow.
You get me another one, we're good. Actually, fun fact: I want to do a Kevin Bacon 6 Degrees of Separation kind of podcast where we go through the IMDb of all of Kevin Bacon's films and take one and then find an actor and find another one and literally do the first movie on the IMDb list and then 6 other movies connected to it and then back to the next Kevin Bacon movie. And that'll be when we're all rich and we're like, well, we got 18 hours in the day. that we can be making content. Or realistically, like 4 hours. All right.
Where am I gonna fit my super yacht time in?
We're gonna be
Come on
doing it
now.
on the super yacht. That's how
Oh,
Mr.
good.
does it.
Good.
And we're gonna make a video about our yacht tour and the yacht renovations.
Then we can do below deck with a show about all of the people that are helping us on our yacht.
And every part of that is being recorded while live streaming to a 24-hour a day live streaming YouTube channel
of all 5 people.
Yeah. And then
your parents, my parents.
Each one has a daily vlog. My parents won't be there. Each one has a daily vlog. All right, sir. What's your rating?
I am gonna go skunky.
Ooh, so spicy.
I wish some of the jokes hit more.
It's a movie, but would those 90 minutes have been better spent elsewhere?
Yes.
Right.
Most other comedy movies.
I'm gonna go exactly the opposite direction and say that for me it was a special edible. Like it's an edible. It's firing on all cylinders for me. But I also recognize that the dartboard, like the dartboard, which I don't know how to describe this, that it's a very specific edible, let's say.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a lot of dietary restrictions.
Yeah, really, like all 5 people that made this movie.
Like you really got to get it's knowing your audience. If you're in the demographic of people who would love this movie like I am, chef's kiss edible. I get why, but I mean I think they did a really great job of incorporating the weirder elements. Anyway, those are our ratings. Mine's a special edible. Yours is a
skunky.
I don't know why I called it skunky, but it's not changing now. All right. Spoilers. If you want the video version of this, link below. If you want to watch the movie, buy it. There's an affiliate link below. If you want to see my full reaction and me loving every joke that y'all hate, that's also going to be down below when I upload it. All right, sir. What's the joke that made you roll your eyes the most? Because I want to know how hard I laughed at your worst experience in this movie.
It was probably all like the Sherlock Holmes effects that Hawkeye has, or Jeremy Rayner. Like it was like, just no, please don't. Like you could slow it down, and you could even do like a little like monologue in there too. But like to break it down like Sherlock Holmes is just get over it. You're not that good.
I will say there was some cringe in there when he's like, Hoagie runs at me in a pussy-like fashion. I'm like, no thanks.
I can smell weed. Chili's around.
The faint smell of weed. Chili thinks he's got me by surprise. I fucking got him by surprise. That was my sense of humor to nearly a T, if not for in a pussy-like fashion.
Bob's self-confidence and arrogance will get to him.
Yeah, I'll be the one to what's his name? Jeremy Renner's character, Jerry. I'm gonna tag Jerry. I loved that. I literally saw the reference and I was like, I love the Sherlock Holmes reference, the RDJ. And as far as like him being able to call out or know what the other person is thinking, his friends, one, I found it funny. Two, for me, it gave extra texture of how he's so good. Because he's not just like a lunatic animal who throws projectors and disappears in the middle of a suspiciously placed telephone booth. He also knows his friends really well and exploits their weaknesses for his own
and,
gain.
and chloroforms them and sets booby traps so that way they're picked up in cargo nets.
I didn't say
And
he wasn't psychotic.
although
Just
what's his name's wife was probably the female version of Jerry.
Mila Fisher is
Yeah, so
a
good.
treasure. This is my favorite role of hers, and probably my second favorite is Wedding Crashers, because
Because she plays the same basic
she's
character.
kind of the same with a little bit different. I just think well, probably two reasons I like this one more. One, I watched it more recently, so obviously I'm remembering her lines from this one a lot more than
Wedding
the
Crashers. Oh,
the assaulter in Wedding Crasher, and
it's the same basic character. I mean, Wedding Crasher, she's more horny. This one, she's more like psychotic. Like,
yeah, and
no, we're gonna do this and we're gonna get them.
and in this
She's not even allowed to
one,
play.
yeah, you've made a big mistake. The second reason I like it is because I just lines like, some couples go and have gangbangs. This is just us. This is just what we do. This is our gangbang. Go get him! Don't lose him on the great. Fucking love it. Or like when Chili knocks her down, he's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. He's loose. God!" It's just she doesn't give a shit that she got knocked down with a bloody nose. He's trying to do the right thing, and she's like, "I had the pride." Dude, your wife is too intense. I just adore her. Do you love her character, or what do you think about the character? Is it? Let me rephrase that. Is this one of the cases where the movie around it is lacking, but you found a character that you really love, or no?
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind the characters itself. I just think the premise of the movie, like if you don't think too hard, right? But if you start thinking about it at all, you're like, man, that dude just jumped into some random house, climbed up, like destroyed his house, jumped out of a second story window, broke his window, and no cops were called. It was just like, oh, come on. And then like busts out a church window from an AA meeting and just like, I was just like, come on.
Dude, oh, wait, I didn't mention the most sadistic character of them all, Leslie Bibbs.
Yes.
Her character faking a miscarriage. Holy shit. And then afterwards, she's like, but we're a power couple and we won. And it's just like, oh my God, they're made for each other. And I probably Chili's reaction is closest to mine,
Yeah.
but not exactly, because mine's just like, oh my God, given the wrong button, you could be the end of the world. You're psychotic. I hope you never have me in your crosshairs. Where what was his? I'm not saying I wanted you to have a miscarriage. That's too far. But what I will say is that if you do have a miscarriage, don't say it. That's what you get. And her response, okay, I understand, everything. You lost, you're angry. She doesn't turn it into like a I'm the victim thing, because it's just messy emotions after a really fucked up move, or like a chess move, I mean. Anyway,
so this whole thing was set up, I guess they do it like once a year in like May or something like that.
yeah.
And they happen to have this wedding in May, like expecting like nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like she says, well, my mom and my sisters all had May weddings. I want a May wedding.
Yeah, all the women in my family.
And it happens to be on like the last day of May or something like that, because the end of the movie, spoiler, it ends like the last 3 minutes of May.
Yeah. I enjoyed that, or I guess I appreciated the extra effort to justify it. Like, why did they have the wedding in May? We understand why, but it adds timing it, like they could have done the beginning of the month,
Yeah.
I guess, and then and then done a truth. That probably would have worked better. But
Yeah.
and then invite everybody and then be like, all right, we can still play the game. Just do it on the third or later. But I appreciate the end of the month only because it gives them a clock for not only for the made up reason of like Jerry's retiring, but the real reason. It gives them a countdown clock, add stakes. If it was at the beginning of the month and he collapsed like that, then they'd have the rest of the month for Jeremy Renner's character Jerry to decide if he wants to get tagged or not. And I just like how they figured it out. Like they did put the ad in the paper, and Jared's like, I knew you'd figure it out. You'd be here. How you doing, boys? And if not, I mean, they showed that the relationship wasn't close, but
but became close at the end.
Yeah. At the very least, even if it's not satisfying, it's not a plot hole. There's so many movies I could imagine that would just be like, we're not going to explain why. It's in May. Good enough. Let's keep going.
And we're moving on.
Yeah. It's a May wedding. And then it's kind of like, did you see Black Widow?
No, I have not. Sorry, I have not seen Black Widow.
All right. Well, this is a spoiler, but I think it's a spoiler that'll actually make for a better experience when you know about it. Because did you see Wonder Woman 1984?
I have it.
All right. I'm just gonna tell one.
Go ahead.
For Wonder Woman 1984, because this is the more scandalous. No, I'm gonna do Black Widow because it makes more sense for the example.
No, let's do Wonder Woman.
In Black, no, because that is a truly, it won't relate back as well. Black Widow, there's a villain who cannot be killed by Natasha or any of the other trainees, and it's very subtle. I actually appreciate how subtle it is, but basically it's the thing of like a misogynist guy is using female slaves to be assassins, and it's really an ego thing. Like this guy just exudes small dick energy, and his way to compensate for that is just enslaving like a few hundred women to do anything he wants. Mind control, done. Like they will do anything he wants, and none of them can kill him because he made it so that they can't hurt him because they can smell his pheromones. They know his pheromones, and it literally stops them like a mental block. And in line with him being a sexist creep, makes perfect sense. If you think about it for half a second and no more, you're like, all right, what would he do? He'd make it because his powerful pheromones. What an ego trip. And then you think about it for a whole second or maybe even two, and you're like, but sniper rifle?
Yeah, but long distance anything?
But sniper rifle. What they should have done is just do the laws of robotics for the widows, for the people he's enslaving. That's it. It's it's not mind control, but it's like hypnosis, programming. You've programmed them to do him no harm, to stop anyone else from harming him, and to sacrifice whatever the laws of robotics, just fill in that guy's name. And they totally could have done that with this. Was I still talking about the May wedding?
I got so lost in your tangent. I don't know. You're lost in your eyes.
All right. That was an example of someone being like, oh, pheromones. Okay, move on. We got a lot more stuff to do. Don't think about it. Pheromones, it makes sense. Boom, let's go. And someone could have been like, nah, plot hole. Did I really say this all about a May wedding?
Yes.
I'm not having a good time. not in relation to this. In personal life, I'm having a day. So sorry. So
virtual
yeah.
hugs.
I think that's what I was saying. Wow. All
Yeah.
right, moving
So
on.
so what was your favorite joke then? So we've got my least favorite joke of most of them. What joke did you really latch onto?
I
Which one did you make made you cry?
no, I didn't cry because of the any jokes. Um, the one that pops to mind, I don't know this is my favorite, but it's the he shit himself joke. Only because that whole sequence was like not in the script, completely unrelated. They filmed it for an advertisement, like they were going to make a whole original, like short, kind of short as an ad for the film, and they loved it so much that they just put it into the film. So I love that uh that got put in because they just
Like
loved they were like, this is too good for just an ad.
that got blown way out of proportion.
um let's see, favorite joke. uh I don't know. I really love uh, Ela Fisher's jokes. The
Oh,
mother,
that's because she's crazy.
yeah, the mother flirting with Chili.
Oh, the whole
Oh,
time.
I
You're
think
perfect
I'm
as you are.
I think I'm getting a contact high. use my use my belt
You,
on naughty little boys. I hope you don't hurt those boys. uh
everybody, you guys all gotta get dressed up for the wedding. Not you, Chili. You're fine the way you are.
this was one that they improved on set, like they asked for another take and then did, and they did it later in the film, so I think they did both. But when Chili needs a tie, he's like, do you need to borrow, or do you have a tie? Yes, I have a tie. Do you need to borrow a tie? Yes, I need to borrow a tie. uh, um what is the, I don't know, I don't think I have a favorite joke except maybe this is our gangbang. um what I really appreciate on the film was, I actually almost asked you to watch it twice because on a second watch, this is what I loved about it, was all these subtle moments where Ela Fisher's character is checking in on her husband's health. And you don't, on the first watch for me, I didn't pick up that it was health related reasons.
No, I didn't either. I mean, I knew something at the end was going to happen to one of them. Somebody was going to get hurt. Like, one of them would go too far and end up in the hospital or end up hurt. And
Yeah.
then I knew it wasn't going to be Jerry or was going to be Jerry, and they were going to tag him as like a joke, but not like a serious health condition like that.
Yeah, if you rewatch this movie, there's so many moments where she just does a little check-in. Actually, in his first scene with John Hamm, John Hamm's character goes, "You lost some weight, buddy?" He's like, "Yeah, a little bit." And then Chili, when he asks if he could smoke with Chili, he's like, "You want to smoke?" "Yeah, I've been dabbling with some stuff lately, mostly medicinal." He's like, "This is the greatest." All these little moments before he tips over the, what is a pool table weigh, 600 pounds or something?
They're pretty heavy. I mean, if they're slate ones, they're heavy.
Yeah, and she's like, "Watch out, you're gonna hurt yourself." Or she like just looks at him at the wedding, or when she picks them up from the I think when he's freaking out about Jerry masturbating onto his teddy bear,
As
she's
teddy bear.
like, she says stuff like, "Relax, don't stress yourself out too much, or don't get too excited." Even he get like, at one point he's getting excited that they're gonna catch him, and she's like, "Don't get too excited." Like all these little moments that on a first watch just translated to me as, this is the last year Jerry's gonna do it. He is getting he's putting too much pressure on himself and everyone to get it, and he does need to get his head on straight. And then on a rewatch, knowing that he's gonna pass, you understand. And
Did they really say pass, or did they say like he was going to be out next year? Because
um
didn't he have like a tumor or something like that? Like it wasn't. I didn't think it was
he
like
has a tumor
like
the size of
terminal.
a golf ball, and he's got like 6 weeks to live, something like that, or maybe 6 months, but I think it was 6 weeks where Jerry's still not believing them.
Yeah, because
And
it was a tumor on his liver, and
yeah,
then
and
he might die.
I'm gonna say
but
maybe 6 months because he basically, as far as we can tell, he's not making it to next year.
is that's what he's assuming. I mean,
I mean, that's what the doctors say, that
yeah.
there's no way he's gonna make it. That's why he says the game ends with him if he doesn't tag Jerry. And another thing I really appreciated was we start with the song oh, I forgot the song. We start and end with the same song, and I forget what it was, but it made so much sense for the game of tag and then for the end where it came so close to ending. I forgot. I just wanted to
Um,
point that out.
well, because
Uh,
I know they use war pigs in the middle as like psychological warfare, Black Sabbath war pigs. So I know they use that in the middle. I just don't remember the first. I thought maybe jump around off the top of my head, but I don't think that was it either.
let's see. What song is at the end of oh no, that's the credits song. Did you say through the credits? Did I tell you to say through the credits?
No, you didn't tell me to say through the credits.
Oh, they I'm just gonna leave that for you to find out because it's kind of funny. It's not like a okay, running by Far Side, PharcydE. Um I'm gonna listen to it on YouTube. Uh Running by Far. All right, well, it's not
Wow,
spelling it this.
that is a crazy spelling of that, by the way, because I just looked it up too.
Yeah,
Pharcyde. That is,
yeah,
that's one way to spell that, I guess.
yeah. But oh, I muted it. Uh, it's a. Oh, I'm listening to it right now. Are you listening to it?
No, I
Run,
thought I was going to
run,
play across.
run, 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 run. No, I don't want to put it on the recording. Oh, oh, always running away.
That's in a lot of other movies too. I want to say it's in a
Oh,
Fast and
oh
Furious
no,
movie too.
sorry, not always run away. Can't keep running away. So it made so much sense as like the opening to the movie of like, oh yeah, can't keep running away tag. And then what hit for me was closing out Jerry's arc because they use the same song at the end and it literally talks about his arc. Like he can't keep running away from his friends. Um, and he's not anymore. Anyway, I think that's part of the reason I cried at the end.
Yeah. So fun fact here. This was it Far Cycle or what? Far Side.
Yeah.
Is in the Street Fighter soundtrack, 8 Mile soundtrack, the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot soundtrack.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. What I haven't seen them.
Yeah, it's WTF.
What was I gonna say? Oh, the waterboarding sequence.
Oh yeah, like come on, are you
Threaded
kidding me?
threaded the thinnest line for me, especially with oh, is his name Hoagie, the guy who's dying?
Yes.
You know, like Hoagie and his wife going that far. Like on the first watch, it threaded such a thin needle that it didn't. I was never like, what the fuck are you doing? And so it didn't like take me aback or anything. But on the rewatch, understanding what's at stake and how they could be pushed to that point.
And mostly what was at stake of the movie? Like you're talking his possibly his last year.
Yeah.
So there's a reason, a motive for why he's doing it. But like, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. That thread's like a super thin line. Like I'm glad they eventually stopped. They didn't really waterboard him.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
glad
Yeah.
like somebody was like, oh, this is probably not a good idea. We should
yeah.
probably not do this.
If they had fully waterboarded him and then on the rewatch, I wouldn't have been on board with it. I wouldn't have. But yeah, the fact that it was Ela Fisher's character saying that we're gonna waterboard her, she's the one who starts it. I would say that character, the guy played by Silicon Valley guy.
Oh yeah, yep.
That was a series of jokes that I was forgetting when you were asking favorite jokes. I love the combination of essentially every time he says something like "you dick sucking homophobes,"
Yeah, he made a lot of like weird like
yeah.
like dick jokes, and he's like, all right, but I'm not going to suck any of you off. Like,
Yeah, and when he like grabs his ponytail, his braided ponytail is like a defense mechanism, clearly, like holding a blankie.
It's just like a rat tail.
Yeah, but like just the 49-51 split of like 49%, you add one more word, and that's a homophobic part of the joke, combined with the 51% like pro LGBT ally.
Yeah.
I was like, I almost said pro homophobia, which would not have been right.
Not what
Term
you're
I was
looking
looking for. But yeah, basically 51% ally, 49% like, dude, one more word and that's actually homophobic. It was just such a beautiful chef's kiss combination. That yeah.
It was the whole scene is borderline, like from start to finish, borderline.
It's playing with fire.
Yes. It's like the juggling with fire, except for somebody's also squirting gasoline at you at the same time.
Yeah.
Or lighter fluid.
It's basically like no, it's not. It's not basically like this. I was gonna say it's reminding me a lot of the Dave Chappelle controversy recently, but that's not a perfect analogy. But yeah. Anything? Yeah.
Okay. So we're still talking about the movie here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think with all of these stars, all of the high action, high intensity moments?
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think the budget was for this movie?
Damn it! I was literally just gonna Google that because I thought you were gonna ask how much they got paid. So I was gonna use the budget as as reference for how much they got paid. I don't know. I had the shocker, which you'll only understand the full extent of the joke if you go out of the Patreon or have two brain cells that you can rub together. Because nothing I do is gonna be
two brain cells
complicated.
and then a small gap and then another brain cell.
The shocker that Deadpool was actually only 58 million. However, and surprise, did I mention it to you already that Jeremy Renner broke both his arms on this movie?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
you didn't. I didn't know.
No, near the beginning of his shoot, when he's doing the stunt running up the stairs and breaking that stained glass window at the AA meeting, apparently one of the towers of chairs fell over and he had to catch himself and he broke both his arms. So most of this film, including, I believe, him throwing the donuts, which happens chronologically right before that.
Which is why he throws it like a backhanded, like, that makes sense now.
All four figures are together. He had green screen casts and those arms were digital.
Yeah, because he like, if you look, he flicks them backwards, like to put like.
Yeah, and there's definitely a difference of like holding it and then you see all the fingers like kind of spreading out like a deck that you're fanning out. But or
you're throwing a frisbee, but like higher at an angle.
Yeah, but his from his pointer to his pinky are clearly all together. They must have phoned up the Skyfall team when they replaced Daniel Craig's gloves and be like, "Hey, have you improved on that? Because it didn't look too good, but you've got to start." Let's see. With that in mind, that they had to green screen out his casts and replace his hands for stuff, I'll say probably under, but close to 100 million.
Okay.
What's the answer?
I will tell you that in the box office, this movie only generated $78.1 million.
I know it's got to be something bad.
I mean, they almost tripled their budget. Their budget was only 28 million.
Whoa, I almost lowballed it.
You lowballed it by a lot.
I almost went like 35 million because I was like, maybe they have points on the back end. But considering like I would imagine, let's see, Step Brothers budget. I would imagine that would be a very cheap movie. No, it's 65 million. I knew
I would have said 50. I probably would have said around 50 for that.
That just felt like a cheap movie that everyone's like, we're getting our back end. What? Because like that's literally just them sitting in a room shooting the shit for 5 hours and coming up with another 10-minute sequence where they both say, shut up, you stupid, and then rinse and repeat. It doesn't feel, except for the fight with the children, it doesn't, at least to me, it didn't feel very dynamic.
I mean, come on, they had to smash a boat.
Yeah, I know, but they could have faked that ish. Wow. Tag was half the budget of Step Brothers, almost. More or less than half the budget. It's 28 million and Step Brothers 65 million.
Yeah. I mean, so looking at that perspective, that makes it better in my eyes that some of the jokes didn't land, stuff like that, because you're only working on a budget of 28 million. And I assume the actors, I know they get paid off of, percentages of the movies and stuff like that, but I'm sure they still get a nice, healthy chunk up front.
Oh, wow. So it succeeded at the box office because budgets normally are double, or the advertising budget is normally double its normal budget. So assuming that they spent, how much? Let's say 56 million total.
And they still gained 20 million.
Yeah, I thought it completely failed at the box office. Sorry, I feel like I cut you off on something that you were about to get to. Did I?
Probably, but I don't remember. That's fine.
Okay. I'm gonna while you talk, I'm gonna Google how much Step Brothers made because it's gonna piss me off.
Oh, it's gonna be ridiculously high. This movie also released alongside of Incredibles 2, which is going to kind of make it kind of high.
I like this movie more than Incredibles 2.
Yeah.
The number one highest grossing Pixar movie of all time. No biggie. Step Brothers only made 128 million at the box office. So it actually didn't piss me off.
Oh, that's not as much as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, right.
But it's also weird because even being released alongside of Incredibles 2, you'd still think that, okay, I'm going to take my kids, they're going to go see Incredibles. All right, I'm going to go find another movie. This movie's not overly long. We probably see it around the same time. So I'm kind of surprised it didn't make more. Because a lot of times when you see a kid movie do really high, or typically a family-friendly movie do really high, another movie kind of generates alongside of it just because, I really don't want to see Incredibles.
Yeah.
As a 30-something-year-old, 40-something-year-old, I'm just going to go watch this comedy movie. It'll be done. It's only 100 minutes or something like that. We can watch this at the same time.
I could see that if it was Tangled 2. No offense to Tangled 2, but Tangled definitely, I think, well, no, that's unfair. Let's say Frozen. Frozen definitely caters to, or at least, made all its money from young children. So I think actually Incredibles, it was so good at capturing any age group that it's like the one animated film I wouldn't trust to give room for a saucy film to get a healthy cut.
Come on, you gotta let that go.
What?
Just let it go.
Oh, fuck off. I didn't know what you were talking about until
let it go. Let it go.
You know what? This might piss you off. Do you want to know how much Daddy's Home made at the box office?
Oh, please. That movie's terrible.
That was another movie which I thought had a smarter than normal script for what it was, just like this movie.
Because it's got Marky Mark and because it has Will Ferrell,
Mhm.
I know it was pushed pretty hard marketing wise. You want to know the budget or the box office? Box office. I'm going with.
And keep in mind, Step Brothers is like 168 million or some, I don't know, 150 million, and that had John C. Riley as well as the doubleheader.
I'm going to go. Well, Marky Mark. He's a ladies' man, so I'm going to go with 300 million.
Close, 242 million.
Okay.
I saw that, and people also search for it because I looked up a movie that I think is one of the most hilarious movies. I saw it 3 times in its first week, and by the third time, my girlfriend at the time, me and her, literally said every single line from the entire film, recited it in the theater. And I wish the person in front of us had said something a lot earlier, because once credits started, he stood up and said, "Thanks for ruining the movie for me." And we genuinely were like, "Sorry, I wish you had told us to shut the fuck up."
Yeah, a long time ago.
3 minutes in, because I really recommend it. Did I say the name? The Goods Live Hard, Sell Hard. That is Catherine Hahn, or Jeremy Renner, Catherine Hahn, Luther from Mission Impossible, Ving Rhames, Ken Jeong, and it is sadistic in how many jokes it pushes it. Anyway,
so do you know who the initial 2 lead actors for this movie? Since we're still on facts about this mission,
what is the same leads for Bad Boys? That's my joke.
Nope.
John Lovitz and another white person.
It is 2 white people.
I didn't know this had original leads.
I mean, this is about white privilege. This movie is about white privilege, being able to run through people's houses, smash out windows, and no cops have been called in this entire movie.
Maybe an unintentional message.
I mean, I don't actually think that's just funny. That it's like,
no, yeah.
You know, any real time, they probably would have been shot running through somebody's house like this.
When I was watching it, I actually was saying, like, I appreciate that Chili knows all the names of the people in that apartment complex. This is why he's getting away with it. And then later, when Jeremy Renner's character, Jerry, is like saying hello to the local workers at the mall, I'm like, I understand why. Like, that's nice, planting little seeds. Why it's not shocking that the security guards like, is this old lady bothering you? Like, at least they put in the effort to know their neighbors or people in the working space. But go on.
So this movie was originally developed with Will Ferrell and Jack Black in mind.
Of course.
Jack Black, Will Ferrell, I understand.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, of course, too.
But Jack Black kind of, because this was filmed in 2017 was when they started filming this. By that time, Jack Black had kind of disappeared a little bit. So it's kind of weird that, Will Ferrell, I 100% understand, but Jack Black, I don't get.
So I'm kind of scared to imagine which role Will Ferrell thought he wanted to play. Two things. One, Will Ferrell cameos in The Goods Live Hard, Sell Hard. It's hilarious. 2, what is it? Hot Rod with Andy Samberg was originally a Will Ferrell movie. What do you think about that movie?
That's good. I like it.
Okay. Yay. I was like, no, I didn't want you to be like, hate it as well. That originally was a Will Ferrell movie, and I think they did it better. Would have done it better. But honestly, I could totally see Jack Black playing Hoagie.
Yes.
I could see a version of that where he kind of channels the emotionality a little bit. And
but this is coming out hot off the heels off of Hangover and stuff like that too. So it makes sense of why they chose the people they did. But because obviously that guy is one of the main guys in Hangover, Ed Hodges or something like that.
I gotcha.
So I can understand why.
Yeah.
Ed Helms, sorry.
Yeah.
But then who would Will Ferrell play? You can't possibly have him as Jerry. Not even close. I mean, I could see you could have Will Ferrell as Hoagie, and then have Chili be Jack Black. I can kind of see that.
I would prefer if Will Ferrell was Chili
Okay, then getting hit
and
on by the
and
dude's mom would make sense.
and Jack Black. It would be weird though with his height. I don't think interestingly enough, I think the framing of having 17-foot Will Ferrell next to her would really take the wind out of the soft uncomfortableness. Like if he's literally draping her in shadows and trying to say, I hope you don't hurt those boys. Or knowing Will Ferrell, he'd be like, oh, I hope you don't hurt those boys. Like, do you understand those boys could be like salmon and I will eat them? Like the other guys.
Another good movie. Another movie that's better than this one.
No, I'll say it's a better top half better Will Ferrell movie, especially for the first opening 5 minutes.
But I've seen that movie like 6, 7, 8 times, and if you turned it on, I'd be like, okay, I'm good with this. Yeah. Where after seeing this once, I mean, I might see it a second time just because you mentioned all the kind of subtle hints, so I might watch it a second time. But if this is on TV, I'm changing the channel.
Oh, it's a bummer. I would be very excited to hear your read of a second viewing. I was actually literally thinking about that like 20 minutes ago. And to know if your wife cries.
Oh man.
Yeah, I wouldn't have liked Will Ferrell in this.
No, definitely not.
In any role except Ela Fisher's. I could see him being the wife. Ela Fisher, Hoagie's wife or a husband. Ooh.
Or I guess he could have been the barkeeper, the
I'd be
bartender.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe his insecurity as much. Well, no, he could channel Stranger Than Fiction. That was
he could do it. Wanting to be that person that, hey, let me in, and okay, we'll let you in if you do this. Okay, yeah, I'll go do that. Yeah. So I could see him pull that role.
If you just add him like throwing a bottle at the wall right next to one of their heads as they leave, then it's exactly what Will Ferrell's wheelhouse. But he'd definitely be a little more physical.
Yeah, but Jack Black, I mean, outside of Chile, I don't see him anywhere else.
Although, but like seriously, not making a joke, I kind of now want to see a movie where Jack Black is like doing, I know it's possible because of the Joseph Gordon-Levitt Seth Rogen movie 50-50, where Jack Black has a terminal illness like Hoagie does, is running out of time, and his life partner is Will Ferrell, who's a little too intense. I could see it, and I'd buy a ticket if that ever happened. It would be, even
during this time, Jack Black was a little on the heavier side, so I mean, it's not really believable that he's going to be chasing people down in the streets.
I mean, you never know. I mean, like, he's definitely active on YouTube, so Jack Black's interested
and TikTok.
And I haven't seen the TikTok. But it's kind of a weird combo that I want to see.
Okay.
Anyway,
can I throw another name out there for you?
Yeah, go for it.
Somebody else who was actually cast to the movie was one Mr. Tracy Morgan, but then had to back out because of scheduling conflicts.
I like Tracy Morgan from
and this is pre his accident.
Gotcha. From everything Kevin Smith has said about his time directing Cop Out and all the petty, childish things Bruce Willis did on the movie, apparently he could just smell the green on Kevin Smith as an action director, and then he just decided to completely emotionally check out and just phone everything in. So I could get, just to be a little fair, I could see where it started, where he's like, this guy should not be directing action. Then just say something, put it like, talk
Put in
to
your
him.
work.
Kevin Smith is if you told him, hey, you're really being irresponsible in terms of like this very simple action scene. Like it was literally some like they're pretending to choke somebody and they should have had a step stool or something. That was the first thing he was like, what the fuck are you doing? Kevin Smith's the one who's be like, oh my God. Oh my, what? All right, let's go overboard correcting this. Like he's a wonderful child of a human being. And he's not gonna roll his eyes and be like, fuck you, you know? But apparent all to say, I think him being a child on set for however 60 more days or whatever it was, overreaction ultimately. But I get where he's coming from.
I mean, I can see Bruce Willis as being one of those like hyper focused actors.
Yeah.
And once he checks out, he checks out. I can see that.
Yeah, I've seen
as a person.
I've seen a bunch of Ralph the Movie Maker movies about Steven Seagal straight to DVD ones or Bruce Willis straight to DVD movies. He's going in with the intention of being checked out the entire time. I get it. I just wanted to throw a small bone to Bruce Willis. All to say, but not too big of a bone because it was pretty dickish.
We're talking like a milk bone.
Yeah, as soon as that milk bone, which I assume is made of milk, melts in his mouth, done. Stop acting like a child. All to say, apparently Tracy Morgan, while he had a gaping hole in his foot due to a emergency surgery connected to his diabetes, was running around picking up the slack. He felt the vacuum that Bruce Willis had created, and Tracy stepped up. Like he was physically unhealthy in terms of like, I guess it kind of relates to this movie in term. He pushed himself to the limit and beyond to make up for Bruce Willis's attitude on set, to help out crew, to really pull both their weights. So Tracy Morgan, he's a saint in my eye. Do whatever you want to do, unless I find out he was Bill Cosby or Louis C.K. He can, which I would be shocked if that actually came out. He's beautiful. If he accidentally rear ends me and scrapes the back of my car, I'm gonna be like, not because you're famous, because you're a nice dude. Go on with your day. If he totals my car, I'm gonna be like, you're buying me a car.
Although you probably should be a little bit more careful in the vehicles, Tracy Morgan.
Yes. Can I drive you?
Yes. Can we have somebody else do this?
Yeah.
You sit in the back seat. We want to preserve you.
I'm a rideshare driver by profession. I will help you. Yeah. So actually, right before you said the Tracy Morgan thing, I wouldn't have been surprised seeing Hannibal Buress's therapy scene replaced with Will Ferrell. That feels like a Will Ferrell like joke. Like, yeah. So tell me that I'm afraid of all the dicks. Yeah.
One of the jokes that was pretty funny that I know was in the trailer, because I rewatched the trailer. Mm-hmm. And they had like a little scene of Hawkeye running around, and it's like, oh, we were going to do an expensive trailer for this, but or something to that effect. But in one of the scenes in there is synchronize your watches. It's like, and the one guy's like, I don't know how to do that, and the other guy's like, I don't have a watch. And then the one guy was like, time is a construct.
What did you think of Rashida Jones being like a twist chess move by Jerry?
It's interesting as from a movie point of view that you bring in like somebody who's been in between two of the characters, or two of your friends, and it's kind of you guys are going to be distracted doing this while I'm going to be doing this. So now I only have to worry about 2 out of the 4 of you, because the other 2 are going to be
trying
to
have a
make their night,
drink.
yeah, make their nights a little better.
Yeah. I think my favorite moment of that was between her and Chili and him saying like, yeah, going through a divorce, living with my dad, haven't showered in a week or whatever he said, and she just goes, "Are you trying to make me horny? I'd like to."
And then
Like,
he's like, "You're." She's like, "My husband passed away, like dead." And he's like, "I forgot
yeah,
what he said."
yeah, my wife's dead too. Dead to me. No, no, really dead. Oh, really? You could be a little less excited of it. Like, no, I'm just saying, like, that's terrible. But if I had known he was dead, I would have called you months ago. Ah,
Chili's probably my favorite character, just because he just doesn't fit into society norms. Just like scenes like that. Just he just is oblivious to some things, and it's funny.
and I love the it feels like they another reason it feels like they went a step above what they could have is just little flourishes like when Chili's being chased and he has the weed cam. You know what I mean? Like that Guy Ritchie type of camera that's strapped to the actor and you as he's running down the stairs, or like it randomly goes into slow motion, the background gets a little green as he goes or or after they crash the golf cart, it like one hoagie, I think it's launched, and then it cuts to black as if they've all been concussed, and then it when it comes back, it's like just a little bit darker, and there's a little bit more fog, and that's when it starts getting into the whole like multiple Jerrys running around and the traps and shit. I was like, there's movies. Speaking of Marky Mark, Four Brothers
The movie.
has one of the most jarring and, at least in my, I think, jarring transitions ever. There's like a scene where they're talking outside the house, and with no warning, no music, no change in the exposure, no darkening of the scene or whatever, boom, someone gets shot. And we just go into this like this horrifying action sequence. There's no I know that the director of Casino Royale, the movie he did with who directed Apocalypto? He got uh, he was in Die Hard. No, not Die Hard. Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon. Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. Okay.
There was a scene where you saw a handheld camera in the basement, like peeking out from behind just some boxes and stuff. And you're like, oh shit, somebody's watching. No one was watching. It was just a clever way to make you unsettled and think that, and make the scene more put you on the edge of your seat. And in Four Brothers, if they had had an extra long shot or something just to make you uneasy, it would have transitioned into it better. I think the movie is solid. I just think that one scene, I was like, oh, his chest has exploded and bullets are flying, and wow, I'm not. I the movie has not shifted the gear for me at all. Um, all to say, I really appreciate the extra effort they did to try to segue us into those tonal shifts, even if it didn't work for. I don't know if it didn't work for you or other people. I can at least, or I think it's easy to see that the what they did to try to facilitate that change in tone, because they could have easily just been like, crash, and then immediate and no one passes out, and then all the Jerrys start running around, and now you're like, what the fuck, how are there seven, what, there's no like, I'm still in chase mode, I'm still in golf cart chase mode, what's going on? Golf balls were flying a second ago, now I have spooky. I said that in the weirdest way possible, but I'm okay with that.
So what do you think about the because at the beginning of this movie, before we find out the premise, the one guy's getting interviewed by Wall Street Journal or something like that, So what did you think about her coming along and kind of like being a spectator in all this, but not actually participating? She shows up in a lot of the scenes, but she's not really,
Yeah,
involved. I mean,
that's
I feel like it was just kind of extra unnecessary.
that's definitely the weak link in the movie for me. Her character, I feel like it's the most thinly drawn. It makes sense considering that this movie, you know, happened all because of an actual Wall Street Journal article or
Yeah.
something. Maybe it wasn't Wall
In
Street Journal. I don't know.
2012, it was a yeah,
Yeah,
a
it was a
big publication.
yeah. So I get it, and it's a very useful framing device. You have someone. I mean, we've done it forever. They did it with Harry Potter. Fish out of water has to ask all the questions. Audience surrogate, but I think they could have given more texture to her as a person. Like,
Or they could have put her in the way in some things, or they could have, her physical presence could have stopped him from doing something.
something. I mean, I like that she gets incorporated at the end. But
Kind
like,
of.
but those small moments, like where she starts flirting with Lou or going along with it, like, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, there's definitely a space in the article for this. No, no Jerry, no story. And then as soon as he starts spelling it, like, oh yeah, I got it. Like those small moments where she gives character, or even when he's trying to reschedule before she's got in the car and she's like, nope, nope, I'm coming with you. I don't know what this is, but this is the story. Like those small flourishes are the things I hang on to with characters. Those are the things that make them feel real. And the fact that I could only give like two examples, there might be one in the waterboarding scene, or at the end when she's like, no, I can't be involved. I need to stay impartial. It doesn't, yeah. I wish she had a more full character. And one thing I forgot to say about Leslie Bibb's character is that I fucking love after her sadistic miscarriage scheme. Hello, cat. After all of that, when Jerry turns to her in the hospital as his like last lifeline of like, this is, you're going to tell me that they're all fucking with me, right? You're the one person I can trust to who's impartial, who would tell me if this was fake. You'll be the one to stop me from getting tagged if this isn't legit. She doesn't give that to him. She like non-verbally pushes him to get tagged. Whew. Man, if that was just another layer to her for me, because she could, a lesser writer, a lesser team could have just made her quote unquote the bitch.
Yeah.
The naggy fiance or wife in Hangover. That doesn't feel like a character to me. How I'm remembering her, she was the naggy, the fiance or wife or girlfriend role, and that person should clearly end up with whatever cute woman he meets first on the trip. Like very generic. I don't consider that character to be a person or a fleshed out in any way character. Leslie Bibb's character could have easily been that, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
I'm glad.
not unfortunately. Fortunately, we didn't get that.
Yeah, I'm glad they did things the way they did, but I mean, I feel it could have been done better.
If you're not
Could've.
laughing at a comedy, then the comedy has failed too. Yeah, or yeah. So I'm not I'm never gonna be like, oh, Brad, you just got to get a better sense of humor, man. This movie, it's just too highbrow for you, man. You just don't get it. I'm not gonna be like that. I'm gonna be like, I'm a little sad that you couldn't enjoy it as much as I could. I hope that basically, in other words, I'm not going to be a toxic Batman v Superman fan.
Wow.
if
Shots fired.
If I said toxic, if you went on Twitter and found anyone who even slightly disliked Batman v Superman and you harassed them for days, you fall into that camp.
All right. Can we pause this? I need to clear out my Twitter account right now. All right.
I genuinely almost stopped recording. But if every single one of those people had responded to any tweet I saw or tweets I said with, "Oh man, it really bums me out that you couldn't love the movie the same way I did," my heart would break a little bit. I'd be like, "Oh man, yeah, that is a bummer. What's another movie that you like? Maybe we can find something we both love." That would,
Together in harmony.
Yeah, there's no movie that everyone's going to love. You even said Citizen Kane is kind of boring the last time you saw it.
Yes.
And that's how I felt as a kid when I watched it. But
it's one of the highest ranked movies on IMDb or whatever, Rotten Tomatoes.
The Transformer franchise went 5 for 5 with Bay at the helm. There's an audience for everything, and I'm sorry, anyone who loves those movies enough to break them down a minute at a time, you tell me that podcast and I'll shout it out. I just won't be listening to it. And I would genuinely be fascinated to talk to somebody who would love the Bay Transformer movies that much. But yeah. No, there's nothing that everyone's going to universally love.
No.
Yeah.
I also thought it was funny that Sable was kind of like the high one because he always asks like very like shower thoughts-esque questions. But like then he's not the one smoking. It's Chili.
Actually,
because he was like, how come bi-weekly both means twice a week and every other week?
Fuck, that spoke to me. Because I remember the first time someone used it as like a twice in a week. I was so close online to being like, actually, dumbass, it's every other week. And I was like, wait, is it really? What the fuck is that? But speaking of Chili and Sable, when Chili's getting hit on and Sable just goes, what the fuck is happening?
When Sable's talking to the reporter, and she's like, do you know what they're talking about? He's like, is this off the record? She's like, sure. He's like, no idea. It's just like, you went through all that just to tell her you have no idea what's going on.
Yes, I love that so much. I would love to see him at the table with Beard and the three super fans in the bar. When they sit down, he's like, we can talk and we can drink as long as we talk about anything but the game and drink. And like, I forget what the first question is, but the second one was like, what's Ted like? And the third one was like, how does it feel to know that your life could end in an instant, but the universe is infinite? And he answers the first question and he's like, Ted is just a man, just a man. And finally, I'm so glad somebody finally asked, because I have some thoughts. I would love to get Sable's question. I want Sable and Beard to sit down for 5 minutes or 50 hours and have their own podcast.
And then just like get all the one-liners out of it and just write a book.
Oh, dude. Oh my God. When Chuck Norris facts was a thing?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I would love, I feel like it's probably Hannibal Buress more than Sable. I would love either one, Hannibal Buress facts or Sable facts.
So so that hit me.
The bi-weekly,
just his like random like time is a construct, or bi-weekly means both twice a weekend, twice a month, or every other week. He's like, that's just confusing and like poor linguicity or whatever it was. It's like, whoa. I was like, that was way deeper than that needed to be.
Or what he told Jobs Ham's character, that was the wrong choice. What? Neither one of you should have gone, but if one of you should have gone,
it should have been you.
It should have been you. How many wines have you had? How many legs does an octopus have? 8?
It just giggles and just walks away. It's just like, Okay.
I love it. Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, please tell me if you ever watch it again. I want to at least see how the seeds of his
Knowing,
demise hit.
yeah. I didn't notice that the first time, so maybe it would be worth a second watch on that. But like I said, if this is on TV, I'm changing the channel. If it was this comedy movie and almost any like Mel Brooks movie, any like almost any Will Ferrell movie, I'd probably switch over.
All right. Wait, if this was you're comparing this to a Mel Brooks film? Oh,
Anyone
if the options, if it was
yeah,
this
if I had
one.
two options.
Gotcha.
There's so many comedy movies I can think of that would come well before this movie. I mean, now if you're at home, with your hanging out with your mom, maybe you can put this on because you're not going to
really this film.
Yeah. There's only one. There's only
the sweaty ass complaint or excuse. The mother hitting.
There's only two things I can think of. It's like the gangbang. This is our gangbang, and then the one guy, the waterboarding scene that we've talked about at length, ad nauseum.
I couldn't watch this at all. I mean, I'm not going to anyway, but I couldn't watch this at all with my mother, because anytime I wrote any type of script and there was a single F word, she'd be like, "You really have to say the F word?" I'm like, "It's not the wow, missing the whole point."
You've got to use the whole English language, Mom.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just weird because I'm like, I just wanted to share something I've made. Shit.
Yeah. So you could share this with your siblings.
That if I have any,
if you had any.
I don't know my biological father, so I might be. Hey,
we might be brothers. Who knows?
Did your dad serve in the U.S. military in Germany in 1989?
No, but he did go leave for a pack of cigarettes and never come back.
Well, that's what dads do. No need to be a pussy about it. Sorry. That's the first time I've ever had an opening to reference that Iron Man 3 line. And I felt like it was a safe bet to make it, since we both just talked about our fathers not being. Did your father really really do that?
No, he didn't.
Son of a bitch. Thought we had shared experiences. This is like when you teased me saying you cried at this movie, but smaller. That's weird. I was more disappointed that you didn't cry to this movie than having someone to talk about how my dad abandoned me.
I'm gonna cry at some like random movie, and you're gonna laugh at me. You're gonna be like, that wasn't even a crying scene. Why are you crying?
Dude, I cried during Transformers 2.
Okay, that's pretty rough.
So I'm never gonna be someone to shame. I'm gonna be so excited. The most disrespectful I'd be is like, oh, you cried in a movie? Really? This one? Okay. All right. Why? What made you cry? I'm in disbelief, but I really want to know.
I think the last one was probably it was a World War II movie. Probably Schindler's List.
I was just gonna say.
And that's because we watched that relatively recently, within the last month or two.
Have you seen the Entourage movie?
No. Please don't.
Have you seen the entire show of Entourage?
No.
All right. I love it.
I've seen parts of it.
There's a line where Ari Gold, played by Jeremy Piven, drives up to a red light. There's so many cameos. It's insane. And he's next to Liam Neeson. He's like, "Hey, Liam." He's like, "Fuck you, Ari." It's like, "Hey, what happened to No Jew Left Behind, Schindler's List?" Or something. It was, I may have messed up where he drops Schindler's List in that joke. For context, for anyone who hasn't seen, Ari Gold's character is Jewish. So that's why with Liam Neeson driving off, he's like, "What about Schindler's List? What about No Jew Left Behind?" He was talking about himself. Yeah, anything else you want to talk about in this movie?
No, I don't know. It's probably something you if you've never seen the movie and you've got nothing better to watch, it's fine. It's not a awful waste of 100 minutes or 101 minutes, whatever it is. But
Oh, is that
yeah,
what skunky is?
I'm not sure.
I think skunky was. It's a movie, but could those 90 minutes have been better served or better
Pro-
used? But it's not an F.
Probably. I mean, like I said, if there's any other comedy, if you're feeling comedy
Mhm.
and there's any other comedy movie on, probably watch that. But if you've never seen this movie and you know every line to every Will Ferrell movie, give it a go.
Yeah.
And then go back to the Will Ferrell movies.
This would be a weird time to say it, I guess, but I guess people could use this if it hit like it did. If it for anyone listening, if it hit for you like it did Brad, use that when you tell other people about it. And if it hit like it did for me, I would say if you have a very weird sense of humor that doesn't always match with other people, uh, or if you like a kind of off kilter sense of humor with like a really, at least for me, a really strong heart to it, then I'd recommend this. But yeah,
Okay, I can see that.
yeah, because I think the first way I thought of it when I was walking out of the theater is like, this is a hilarious movie with that just punches you in the heart at the end.
I was half expecting like I said before, I mean, I kind of it's not an overly complex movie, but like I was kind of expecting him to jump up out of the bed. So when he actually like didn't, I
Ooh,
was like, ooh, okay.
oh yeah,
Like
no,
I was expecting it to be a ruse,
I would have
like a backwards ruse.
I would have fucking hated it. I think I would have flipped on the whole movie if that was a ruse. I'd be like, you know,
Because and it would make sense. I mean, it would be lazy. I can understand that, but it would make sense because Jerry's been playing them. So now he finally gets one on Jerry, like
yeah.
actually gets him. Like it's comparable to the one scene where she fakes a miscarriage. Now you're faking like a deadly disease. So it'd be.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I mean, I could see it. I'm not saying it's right.
I could see it. Yeah. But yeah, that would be very interesting. It would feel like a last second character assassination of
Yeah.
Hoagie.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there any movie that you like that this reminds you of that you'd recommend? Because I think I'd like to start incorporating like recommendations before we get into spoilers for the future of similar movies.
Hmm. Not that I can think of. You put me on the spot,
Yeah,
but
my bad.
not that I can think of.
I'd say in terms of the frequency of jokes and the specific humor, I would recommend The Goods Live Hard, Sell Hard. And then in terms of like a kind of funny movie that we've already mentioned, but like someone who's kind of an underdog and you're rooting for them, I would say Hot Rod.
Okay.
I don't know if those are perfect next movies to watch, but
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely see Hot Rod now that you mentioned that. I can see that. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a good comparison, but I can see it.
yeah, I don't think
I
the
would
humor's
the same.
at all the same. Yeah, no, they do have some nice bits like what saying what's weird. That by the way, Hot Rod has the single greatest deleted scene ever.
Really?
Yes, if you haven't seen it, go on YouTube, look up Hot Rod deleted scene. It's Andy Samberg is playing with toys and a fake T-Rex. That's all I'll say, so you know that it's
Legit.
what you're trying to watch. I think the second best deleted scene is from Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and that one I'll spoil. It's supposed to be in the third act or near the end of the movie. Sarah Marshall's getting on a plane and he goes to apologize. And he said he previously had called her the devil. He's like, I know you're not the devil. The likelihood of that is high, you know, Jason Segel joke. And then as they're saying goodbye, it flashes back to a single shot on a set And all it is Sarah Marsh saying, maybe, but I don't know. Dating a coworker can get messy. And then he just goes, yeah. And then they like go in for the kiss and it cuts back and it humanizes Sarah Marshall just a little bit at the end. And I get why they cut it out because it distracted from the like race to the credits, let's say. But whew, whew, whew. I'd recommend it after watching the movie. But yeah, I won't say any more about Hot Rod because it's truly glorious. And just pay attention at the end, where near the end of the deleted scene, how long a shot doesn't cut away. When a door slammed, notice that the shot has not cut away. It's very important. Anyway.
So do we want to spoil what we're going to be watching or what we'll be reviewing next week?
I don't know what we talked about. I don't remember. What are we reviewing?
Well, one of them was Stretch, and the other one was
I got it. Docs.google.com.
Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Sheets, all amazing.
It was Stretch or Love and Monsters, but I don't have right. But I don't own Love and Monsters. Is that what we talked about?
I think so. There was only two of them.
Okay, so you want to do Stretch?
Sure, let's do Stretch.
All right. So how about, can we schedule the next two, Stretch, and then there's this movie on Netflix called Three Idiots, and it's an Indian film, and it made me cry multiple times when I watched it. Would you be interested in watching that?
Sure, and that's partly in English, partly in Indian.
Partly in English.
I don't know what they.
Oh, there's a ton of languages. There's Hindi, Telugu. So many. So many.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a problem with foreign language films. I mean, I look crazy watching subtitles. I look like that one guy with the two eyes from, was it Big Daddy?
They're I don't remember that guy.
The Adam Sandler movie. When he gets rich at the end.
I don't think I said.
And he gets like a Lamborghini, and the guy's got two crazy eyes. One's like way up in the top corner, one's like lazy.
I don't think I've seen that one.
The one where he delivers pizzas. I don't remember.
No, these are, I think, any films that I'd recommend. I don't think I'm the best with reading subtitles, but these are films that it feels effortless. I don't know how to describe it. At least for me, it felt effortless reading subtitles.
Mr. Deeds.
But yeah, that's Stretch is, if you saw Smoking Aces, I think this is one of those special ones where it's not a comedy, but it's definitely, they put it straight to digital because they didn't know how to advertise it. Let's say that.
And Ed Helms is in both of them.
Is he in Stretch?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I forgot.
Yep.
Ed Helms, Stretch. Oh wow! Okay,
so we're keeping our string together.
we're
keeping
doing
it together.
We got to figure out a Kevin Bacon. We got to find out somebody who's been in Stretch and Three Idiots. Good luck.
Good luck. We'd be better off going to like Slumdog Millionaire would be another tough one to
do. I don't know why, but Ed Helms's photo that I'm pulling up on IMDb right now is reminding me from Stretch, or on Google, but it's coming from IMDb, is reminding me of Chris Pratt in Wanted.
Okay. I think I know I'm without looking it up. I think I know which one you're talking about, because when I was looking at it before, I think I know which one you're talking about.
It looks like they're in a grocery store and he has a pencil mustache.
Yes. I saw that one.
Okay. All right. So we'll see Stretch next. It'll be a weird one, I'm sure. And then Three Idiots, which I'm so excited. Three Idiots is a little over 3 hours, just so you know.
Okay.
So you don't sit down being like, I'm going to sleep in 2 hours. And then, fuck.
This is an hour and a half. This 90 minutes could have been better used elsewhere.
No,
Oh,
I'm gonna say this because I know it won't be that rating, but I guess if it was stinky, it would have to be a double stinky since it's 3 hours. But no, it's I'm gonna be shocked if you don't find at least something you love about Three Idiots because it truly is. Whew. Stretch, I won't be surprised if you're like, man, it just didn't hit it didn't hit right. I'd be like, all right, fair enough. Although I will say, have you, did you say you saw the Bradley Cooper 18?
Super 18. No,
18.
I don't think so.
Okay. I saw my Luke Hobbs Funko Pop and it reminded me that Joe Carnahan, director of A Team, should have directed Hobbs and Shaw because the A Team, directed by Joe Carnahan, feels like an honorary
Oh,
Fast and
oh,
Furious movie.
the A team. I thought you said the
Yeah.
18, like the number 1-8.
No, I'm gonna blow my nose as soon as we stop recording. No, the A Team with Liam
Yes,
Neeson.
yes, I have seen the A team. Yes,
Okay, so this is the same director. But yeah,
first stretch
yeah, the A Team just
because
remind.
probably not Three Idiots.
No. Let me put it this way: if Joe Carnahan directed Hobbs and Shaw, and he was allowed to be the leader, if Dwayne Johnson allowed him to actually be the
It was
director,
contracted in there.
like, and didn't undermine his wild vision at all, I Hobbs and Shaw would have been top 50% in quality of Fast and Furious movies for me.
Not to confuse with Hobbs and Shaw 2 coming soon.
All
Best
right.
Fast and Furious movie ever.
Best SNL sketch about Fast and Furious ever.
That's very specific. I like
I'll
it.
give it that because it definitely feels like a big budget SNL sketch.
It's the best rock Fast and Furious spin-off movie ever made.
It's the best film that co-leads Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham.
And there's another wrestler too in there too. And one of his brothers in the movie is a wrestler, professional.
I heard. I didn't. Although strangely, they didn't use the best shot. I think if I'm thinking of the right brother, there's this moment in the trailers, and I watched the trailers over 100 times where they go, ooh ah, and like Dwayne Johnson is in the foreground, his brother's right next to him in the background, like almost in the same exact focal length, and it's framing both of them, so they do it together. And then in the movie, they had this more energetic but confusing shot where it like pans up from Dwayne Johnson's feet, and then before the ooh is over, it goes over to the other guy, or maybe it was the other guy first and Dwayne Johnson next, but it just like pans up and then pans over really quickly, and you're like, if I hadn't seen the trailer and I was just watching the movie for the first time, I would have been like, what the fuck just happened? What is
this guy?
Like in terms of like energy of the shot, it's like, yeah, the camera's moving, so it's more energetic, but it's so confusing. I was like, you had the perfect shot in the trailer. You had the perfect shot in the trailer, boy.
You should have just left it. You were doing so good.
No, they weren't. No, they did great. The trailer was 100. I knew every line. I would show it to people in my Uber or Lyft, pass back my phone for them to watch. And I would literally, without consciously thinking about it, go, ooh, ah, exactly in sync because I had seen it so many times.
Come on.
That's how excited I was for it, even though I thought he was being a little bit of a diva. I was
I can't believe that you are telling me that this movie where The Rock falls out of 100-story building, gets caught, like catches himself halfway down and then falls the other half onto like a subway terminal or bus terminal, that somehow that's a good movie. I can't, blows my mind.
See, that just sounds
like I'm sorry, it's a bad movie. I'm sorry.
See, that sounds like a good time in terms of a Fast and Furious movie.
Even the Fast and the Furious was like, nah, I'm not gonna touch that one.
They would do it but they would do it with a car.
Yeah, and somehow gets hung up on a string, and
Yeah.
the thread of Vin's jacket somehow saves him.
I will say before we wrap up, in the first trailer, when Dwayne Johnson knocks against the glass elevator and you cannot hear him, but you see him say "fuck you" to Jason Statham, my daughter, whatever age she was at the time, and I in the theater cackled so hard because you didn't hear it, but she could read his lips, and she found it to be so fun. She's probably 6 or 7. It was the most hilarious thing to her. Anyway, that was an interesting number of spirals we went on, or what is it, tunnels we just went down. They're completely unrelated to the film tag.
So next week is Stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Leave a nice 5-star review on your audio listening areas. Don't let me tell you how to live your life.
Go over to the Movies Are Dope Instagram to recommend an underrated movie that you think needed more love.
Yep.
Never too late for it.
Don't forget to join the Patreon. As low as $1 a month, and you can be in the Discord with everybody else.
That's very kind of you. There's also a new arbitrary level that I added, which is $4.99, and I'm just arbitrarily restricting how many people can go there. There's one space right now. If like 10 other patrons come over at the $1 or $2 tiers, then I might put it to 2 spaces, but I'm for no reason, no good reason. I just thought it'd be funny to artificially restrict a higher tier for no reason. And only one person can get the tag of that tier name on the Discord. So you kind of just get to be like, ha ha, I got it, you didn't. That's not the energy I want to bring to the Discord. Scratch. Editor, cut that out. Oh wait, I'm the editor. All right. Yeah, that joke was fire. I agree. All right. So let's wrap it out. You remember how we do the outro?
Nope.
Well, first, I'm Brian. My Instagram's Movies Are Dope. What's your name, sir?
My name is Brad. My Instagram is BradF912.
And then we both say this movie was, and then say our rating, and it'll cut before we're done. And this movie was, or do you want to say, and this movie with me?
No, go ahead.
Oh, no, I kind of want us to both say it together. All right. 3, 2, 1. And this
movie
was special edible.
Skunky.